Well, hello again. Here we are for our second day of Southwest Asia. A couple of quick things. Hopefully you can see this better. I've blocked off the glare from the lights and put the camera up a little higher, so hopefully that's better. A couple of questions that have been asked. Once you get all the notes written, then just go ahead and take a picture and send those to me. And you can do the same with the map. Once you've completed that, go ahead and take a picture and send it. I've heard some responses from some of you this morning. I realized I hadn't published the notes. They are now published. The notes they are on a PDF, if you look for that on Canvas. And then the video, which obviously you would have found it, but it says chapter 21 through 23, and it'll be page 1, page 2, page 3, and so on. And also quizzes is available. If you want to start looking at that, you're welcome to. So chapter 22 today, this deals with the human geography or the cultural geography of Southwest Asia, and we'll go to number 23 today. So obviously the major religion is Islam and the language is Arabic. The people who believe in Islam are called Muslims. Sometimes people say the religion of Muslim, but it's the religion of Islam practiced by Muslims. And Mecca is the Islamic holy city. It's located in the country of Saudi Arabia. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but this is the city of Mecca, and you can see this area right here. This is all people, and they are facing this black box, and I'll mention that later as well. Nomads, these are groups of people who wander or move from place to place. They have these large tents, they have their animals that graze. They will, after a few months, maybe pick up everything they have, move on to another area, and then stay for another 2 or 3 months with their animals grazing, and that's their lifestyle. It's a nomadic lifestyle. One group that practices this lifestyle are Bedouins. They're Arab-speaking people who migrated to North Africa from Southwest Asia. We talked about Africa already, but that group did move into that region. The Silk Road, trade route connecting China with the Mediterranean Sea. So you can see over here in China, here's the trade route. This area right here, Southwest Asia that we're studying right now. There's the Arabian Peninsula. This area was formerly known as Persia, and then reaching the city of Istanbul in Turkey. It was called the Silk Road because that was the major trade item, and for the Chinese it was very important. They're the only ones who knew how to make silk, and so it was a very highly sought after and prized commodity. Once the secret was out and other people started to realize how to make silk, then it wasn't as valuable to anyone because everybody could make it. Jerusalem, a city of importance to all three religions, which we'll mention here in a bit. And the term mosque is a house of worship where Muslims pray. There's a couple here. This one is the Western or Wailing Wall, and it's the only remnant or the remains of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, and that's sacred to Jews. In the background is the Dome of the Rock. It's an Islamic shrine, and it's located on the Temple Mount in the city of Jerusalem. This one here is called the Blue Mosque, and that's located in the city of Istanbul, Turkey. It is still a functioning mosque, but they have many tourists that attend and go look at that. It says it has a capacity of 10,000 people, so it is a very large structure. So here's a little close-up picture of the black box. It's called the Kaaba, and it was built around a sacred stone. Apparently it was a meteorite, and it was placed there by some of the Islamic prophets. But so again, in the city of Mecca, a Hajj is a pilgrimage that Muslims have to make at least once in their lifetime, and they make that pilgrimage to the city of Mecca. When this is going on, if they're not in the city, then they will kneel down to pray, and they have to face the city of Mecca. If you're inside the city, you can see these lines of people. They're these circular shapes all around this black box. And that's, so if you're in the city, you face the black box. If you're outside of the city, you just have to be facing the center of the city. Okay, OPEC is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. That was founded in 1960, or in the 1960s. Kind of an interesting page if you want to look in your book on page 501. It shows the size of maybe a dozen countries in relationship to the amount of oil that they produce. And that shows also what this map is. So you can see the orange or darker colored ones would be those that are members of OPEC. And again, this is the region we're studying currently. Here's North Africa, some of those countries, but you can see in that one in your book, the United States is there, Canada's bigger, Russia not very big, but again, this area on the map is huge. And an embargo is a ban on trade. I remember being in school in the I think it was 1974, there was a kind of an oil shortage, and people waited in long lines for gas at the gas stations, and I had a teacher tell us that you guys probably won't be driving because there won't be any oil, and well, obviously that didn't happen. So the term theocratic, these are religious leaders that control the government. So if we look at the word theocratic, theocracy is that type of a government. The theo part is the religious part of that word. If you're a theologian, that means you study the Bible, you study religion. The C-R-A-C-Y part of that word, or cratic, is the government part of the word. So when you put them together, theocracy or theocratic means religious leader. Bazaars or souks, those are traditional marketplaces. They're usually open air markets. You can see this one, they've got things for shade, but it is open if it happened to rain, which it doesn't very often. And some of these go on for miles. They're very big, and a lot of people gathered there in these bazaars or souks. Okay, the three major religions then include Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Obviously Christianity with Jesus Christ in this region of Israel, Jerusalem, Judaism forming from that, and then Islam, probably the most prominent religion in the region. There are two branches of Islam, and they are Sunni and Shiite, and sometimes those groups are at odds with each other and have conflict. And then monotheism is the belief in one God. So Christians, Jews, and Muslims, those religions that they follow are all monotheistic religions. The other one is polytheism, which is a belief in many gods. And that's the end of chapter 2. Thank you.